Great to be back on the grass. The work brings us back. It was a really excited group to be back out there with the great opponent coming up this week, and knowing especially how tough the Saints played us last time. You know, the guys are really excited about the opportunity we have to get back to football, and you know, I hope that the group understands. You know, at this point in the season, you know, every week is a championship opportunity. It truly is, and we have everything in front of us right now. So we're excited to get back to work.
Dave, what did you see from watching the tape in the first between the meeting with the first? I'm sorry, watching the tape in the first meeting between you guys. What were some of the things that stood out to you that you feel like the team has improved upon in the weeks since then?
Yeah, we missed some opportunities in the pass game, and the Saints did a great job challenging us and our run game. And the focus in that week was to try to have that balanced attack, and they didn't give us a lot. You know, and they played us really well. They had a great game plan. So we looked at that part to see, you know, we're going to be looking at that early in the game to see if they have the same type of plan to counteract that part of it, you know. And then on the flip side of it, you know, the Saints made some huge plays in that game. I think it was 2 touchdowns on third downs. And, you know, we're in position to make plays. They came up with the plays we didn't in that game. That was the difference. And played good enough football to have a chance for it. But this time around, you know, we have to make sure as we play this team, you know, you watch the style of football that they're playing, finding a way to play their football. And we've found an identity in who we want to be. We know when we're at our best, we're balanced. We make sure we're running the ball. Same thing on the defensive side, stopping the run. So going into this matchup, a great opportunity, a great challenge for us to show up with our best.
JC and Claudin cleared concussion protocol?
We'll do all the injuries on Wednesday, but they're both trending in the right direction. They are in the protocol, so they have to make sure they keep clearing the different things that they have to, making sure we're doing the right thing for the guys.
Was Layton's hand related to the previous hand injury?
Not related, no. Yeah, this was a different injury. I'm not sure if it's the same hand, but this is a different one.
Not be able to answer this. We saw Rob working on the side.
Yeah.
Is he going to be elevated? What's your plan with Rob right now?
He's getting closer. We're not going to open up his window this week, but he's getting closer. He's getting stronger, and would love to see him back at some point, you know, over this next stretch.
Coach DJ Wanham recovered the clinching fumble against the Rams, but he remains at 0 sacks.
Yeah.
Final year of his contract. What do you need out of him the final 4 weeks?
He's doing a great job playing consistent football for us. And while I know he would be up here telling you he would love to come away with some sacks, he's doing an excellent job in terms of just being a part of that leadership of the group, of doing right, setting edges, affecting the quarterback with our different pass combos and rushes and all that. And he's a guy that I just love. I love that he's here. I love that he shows up every day with professionalism. And he's been a great example for Nick Scorton and for Princely, you know, to see what it looks like to play this position at a high level.
Championship, you know, opportunities is kind of your message to this team before every game. Now that it really is one on paper, like, do you tailor that message at all? Do you notice anything different from this group?
It is why we talk that way. We try to heighten every opportunity, because whether you're going to have to win games on the road, you're going to have to win at home, you're going to have to win in the elements. You're going to have to win with crowd noise. There's all these elements in every game that really does present championship moments, and we're going to go down to New Orleans, and that place can be really loud, you know. And a team that played really good football against a really good team in the Bucs just yesterday, and so it's easy for me to sell it, you know, in these types of situations, especially knowing what's in front of us. And so, but the way we do it is we take one opponent at a time. The goal is 1-0 with a chance to win the division. It's right here in front of us.
The first Saints game, there were guys who talked about the attention to detail wasn't there throughout the week leading to that result. Did you see the kind of focus you wanted to see coming out of the bye today?
It was an excellent practice. It was a group of guys that were excited to be back together, knowing what we're playing for, and having this opportunity, you know, to get outside in the cold, be on the grass, you know, but a lot of good energy out there, and the guys are fired up.
Kind of on that point, when you look at the results of the season, it feels like to the casual observer that some of the maybe worse losses come after some of the biggest wins. Is there anything to handling having these guys learn how to continue to maintain that high level of play?
Absolutely there is. And that's the greatest challenge for all of us across the league. It's the ability to refocus, the ability to take it 1 week at a time and 1 day at a time, because that process leads to good results, and making sure you capture those days. No day is less important than the other. We have to make sure we go through a great process. Everyone's focused, locked in, and finishing up with the weight room session after practice, like, hey, the day's not over. There's great work in there too, and how you do anything is how you do everything, and that's got to be the mentality, and that's the sign of maturity that I'm looking for from this group, is to continue to just build off of wins, to build off of, okay, now we have to go back to work. Let's correct the things we need to correct. Let's look at the things that worked for us well. Let's try to continue to lean into those things, but also just making sure that we have the right focus for the task at hand.
To piggyback on that, the bye week gives you a chance, obviously, to get healthy physically, but do you think that it would be to you guys' advantage coming off of a big win against the Rams to kind of recenter, refocus, and, maybe not have that dopamine high so much so?
It's always nice to have a win going into the bye week. It leaves you with a great feeling. And at the same time, the discipline part of it is not to relax. The discipline part of it is to make sure that we look at that game and we take the lessons learned from that game as well. And, we had some great moments and there was some balance, but there were also things that needed to be corrected. We have to make sure that we take those so we can keep moving our football forward, because the goal is to find our best football. And right now we have this game, another opportunity to improve in some of the areas that we've been wanting to improve.
Close are you? How closely did you monitor the game yesterday? Were you glued to the Saints upset?
I was watching the game, yeah. Wanted to make sure that I was connected to the story of it. I got to be honest, I got a little emotionally involved in the game, at times. And, it's something I try to, remind our players is like, hey, watch these games. Let's try not to get too, emotionally connected. But how can you not? It impacts all of us in this division. And certainly it impacts us going into this week with another division opponent.
Emotionally involved, were you cheering for the Saints then?
I mean, anything that helps, right? We're all competing out here, and honestly, like, knowing that they're playing good football, knowing that it's going to require the best of us, allows us to make sure that the focus is right. It heightens that awareness, so that we understand, like, every single week, this league is full of teams, especially the ones that are finding their best ball late in the season. It's a really important opportunity for us.
Following up on that, Dave, with the way that you said you were watching it, getting emotionally invested, is it tougher to watch as a fan, as a coach? Are you trying to watch game planning and do work, I guess, as opposed to, just watching the game for the outcome and all that stuff?
First of all, it's hardest to watch as a parent, and then as a coach, when you don't necessarily have the ability to affect what's happening. We got background music. This is really, really emotional moment right here. But yeah, it's hard not to shut it off, especially when I'm watching their defense playing and how they're attacking the Bucs and different schemes that they're using. So you can't turn that part off. When I'm watching college football, try to remind myself, hey, just watch the ball bounce. Just watch the ball, and you can kind of turn the wheels from, shut them down for a little bit. But, it was a great opportunity to watch a bunch of football, and my favorite part of it is whether it's college ball, whether it's high school ball, or watching NFL games during a bye week, is there's so much to learn from every game. And you look at these critical situations, we will find ourselves in those critical situations at different times. And so just watching the coaches who I respect, and see how they handle different situations, fourth down calls, possible go for it scenarios, clock management at the end of half, end of game. So there's a ton to learn from. That's why I love this time of year.
Hang on one second. We're going to do David, Joe, and Phil.
You mentioned you missed a couple of things in the past game and the first Saints game. And Bryce has had some up and downs throughout the season, just as the team has had. So what do you want to see out of Bryce these last 4 games?
Just continue to lead, keep pushing our concepts forward, finding ways to protect some of our core concepts in the run game and the pass game, and just lead the charge that way in terms of just getting us to the right play. And for the whole group, just the execution, and to watch a group on the offensive side really start to find some chemistry and some rhythm to be able to just continue to build off of that this week.
Where does consistency fall into all that?
Yeah, that's the part of the whole thing. It's all the leadership. It's making sure that we are growing our systems, that we are protecting our runs and our passes, and and just distributing the ball and knowing what we expect out of the position, and he does. And to continue to go on the road, and the part that kind of doesn't get mentioned, which Bryce has done a phenomenal job of, is just being on the road, being in different environments, and getting us to the line, getting us to the right protections and runs. And he's been doing a great job of that part as well.
I understand you don't want to get too specific, but it looked like you came back from this bye pretty healthy with Christian and then not an injury thing, but Trayvon too. How important is to kind of have these pieces all back together as you make this stretch run?
It's huge right now, and we would have loved to have JC and Claude and Trey out there on Sunday, and got to give a lot of love to the guys who had opportunities to come and help us and show us what they can do. And but we're excited to get all those guys back on the field. And to really just have about as strong as a group as we've had, Christian Roseboom, obviously. With a couple of guys, Rob, we'll see where we're at with Rob, as we go forward. David Moore is getting closer to his window as well. So there's guys that can help us here. But right now the focus is on this week. Who can we get out there on the field this week? And so we'll have more information for you on Wednesday with that.
Question from Cassidy.
Yeah, you mentioned that you feel like y'all have found your identity on offense. When do you think that happened? What would you kind of attribute the switch to?
I would just say it's generally throughout the season. If you look at the games that we've had success, we've been a balanced attack. We've had our run game to count on. We've been efficient with our pass game, and we've found some explosives. And that's my dream for this group, is to have a really balanced attack, and where everything starts off the same, ends up different. And we're making sure that the guys who can help our team touch the ball in one way, shape, or form. And that certainly starts with me and Brad, making sure that the plan reflects that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.